Hey guys, Johnny Awesome here for Pokemon GTB. Today we have a standard OU battle against Justin Vanscyoc, and I met him on the Pokemon PWT page that we joined forces with, and he is now an Elite Four member on our group. Today he's bringing in a pretty good Sandstorm team, and I'm running with my Rain team that my buddy Steven helped me make. Um, yeah, R4 is not working right now, so I'm resorting to using my phone to record this until I can get this figured out or whatever. But yeah, don't know if I missed anything, but here we go. The thing I don't like about these R4, not being able to use my R4 is I can't speed this up, so there might be a little bit of a gap in between our gameplay. But yeah, he leads off with his Gastrodon. I lead off with my Jirachi, go with the Body Slam, in hopes to get a Parahax, which I do. And just, oh yeah, he goes with Hidden Power. It's Hidden Power Dark. Hardly does anything with my Jirachi's max special defense. So, yeah, I pretty much ate it pretty well. I go ahead and use my U-turn, and I get a critical hit, and it does about half damage, maybe a little less, but it's still a good little chunk he's got in there. I go ahead and switch out to my Scissor, knowing that he's going to go for the Scald, not thinking that, hey, Scald does a burn, and Choice Band Scissor isn't too well off if he gets burned either. So not the best move on my part. Luckily I don't get the burn, and I'm able to pivot out with my U-turn and get out of there before he does get the burn and take out his Gastrodon with this. Next, I believe he sends out his Ferroth Seed, and I go to my Quagsire, figuring it's probably the safest move. I thought it was actually going to go with his Fortress, but no, I went with Quagsire. And I go ahead and try to scope out its weakness, or its weak points. I go ahead and hit a Scald, maybe hoping for a burn, see how much special defense it has. He goes ahead and does his Leech Seed, get that residual health gain going. I go ahead and scope it out some more with the Earthquake, and pretty much at this point I'm just trying to see if he has Power Whip or Gyro Ball. And the Earthquake doesn't do much damage either, pretty much just telling me that his Ferroth Seed is Thorn is pretty much relaxed, probably max in defense, but still packing an attack. I'm sorry, Quagsire. You deserved a little bit better than that. You've done me good. But Quagsire gets hit with that Power Whip, and I go ahead and send back out my Jirachi, I believe. Yep. I go ahead and try to get the Parahax on him again, but he switches out and he goes to his Fortress. I don't get the hacks the first time, but I do get it the second time. I figure trying to hex these walls is probably the best way to go at this point right now, and it gives me a chance to try and set up a little bit later in the game. Goes ahead and sets up his Toxic Spikes after this, and yeah, it's a little hard doing this. These battle videos are going a little bit slower than the ones I was used to recording, so bear with me, guys. Try not to have too many pauses in this, so doing what I can, just doing what I can. So yeah, I go ahead and U-turn out of battle and go to my Toxicroak to go ahead and take out the take away the toxic spikes. And his with his fortress being paralyzed, I know I have a little bit of a chance to try to set Toxicroak up the sword stance while he's here. But yeah, he goes ahead and tries to set up another layer of toxic spikes. And that works because whenever I retreat my Toxicroak, somebody else is going to get poisoned, so yeah, that works. He goes ahead and calls back his hazard and sends out his Hippowdon and get the sandstorm going. I go ahead and set up my Swords Dance. And hit him with an Ice Punch. His I almost KO his Hippowdon. It's pretty close, but it would have been nice to go ahead and KO it first, one try. But yeah, pretty good chunk taken out with that. Toxicroak is a beast. But yeah, he goes with the Yawn, forces me to switch out my Toxicroak, and he probably would have done better if he would have went ahead and hit me with an Earthquake right there. But I never got to see what his moves were. So I send out my Politoed, go ahead and take out the poison damage, and my Politoed is modest nature with specs. So I figured that was a good thing. But good call on that too. The Ice Fang probably would have done a good chunk of damage on my Toxicroak, if not KO'd it. Switches out his Hippowdon to his Ferroseed Thorn. I go ahead and predicted it and went with a Focus Blast, and it missed. So I believe this is where I switch out my Politoed to my Scissor and try to get the see how much my superpower can do to him. Just trying to wean it out as best as I can at this point right now. Yep. So yeah, another good prediction on my part. Scissor uses superpower. Well, he switches to his fortress first, and then Scissor uses superpower. And this doesn't do as much as I would like it to have done, but it works. So, good job, Scissor. Okay, so he's got his fortress back out. I go ahead and retreat my Scissor, send back out my Toxicroak, I believe, and just try to build up some Swords Dances again. And this is where I try to go for the sweep. Yep, so out comes Toxicroak, spikes disappear. Okay, and yep, so he's setting up spikes now, trying to do what he can for the rest of my team, since I don't have a spinner on this one. So he's taking advantage of that. I go with my Swords Dance, and he gets the Para-Hacks. Go ahead and set up another Swords Dance. This Toxicroak gets back to full health. He hits me with the Stealth Rocks. Well, he sets up the Stealth Rocks. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Let's go ahead and set up one more. One more won't hurt. So I set up a third Swords Dance. And his fortress is paralyzed with this one. So I don't know if he was trying to volt switch out of there, or Set more spikes. I don't know. And at this point, he's pretty much trying to just see what my Toxicroak has. So, but at the same time, it's, I guess, wouldn't matter either way. Pretty much, Toxicroak's moveset could have KO'd his whole team, regardless. But yeah, so I use Drain Punch on his Fortress. When it KO it, he sends out his Aerodactyl. Toxicroak uses Sucker Punch. When it KO on that, I believe he sends out his either his Ferrothorn, or his Hippowdon now. I believe it's his Hippowdon, so I can go ahead and stop getting that dry skin recovery each match. Which, by the way, dry skin, Life Orb, Toxicroak is a beast. So I go ahead and Ice Punch, take out his Hippowdon just in case. That way I win the Weather War. If worse comes to worse, I can at least get my water boost up for his Ferrothorn later on in the game. Sorry about the quality again, guys. He sends out his Flygon, and I misclick here instead of going with the Sucker Punch again. And luckily, I survived this enough to take the Sandstorm damage as well, and still KO his the Sandstorm damage and the Life Orb damage, and still KO his Flygon in one hit. So it was a little sketchy on that part, but I was still able to overcome this. He sends out his I cannot say it right, guys, Ferrothorn, and I go ahead and hit with the Drain Punch to go ahead and get my HP back up. And bam, that's another wall out of the way. I think I get a little bit less than half HP. Yep. So that's all good. And yep. And that's it. It was a good game, Justin. I suggest all you guys to check out his YouTube page or his YouTube channel. And yeah, again, I apologize for the crappy video quality, and I appreciate you bearing with me through this. Check us out on Facebook, www.facebook.com/PKMNGTB. Again, this was Johnny Awesome here, trying to return back to his competitive battling video page. So thanks for viewing, guys. Subscribe and have a good one.